Hi, Ginger and I are here for a story, and I can't believe she's resting her head like that. I mean, from the angle that I'm at here, you've got to see this. That does not look very comfortable. Okay, anyway, here we are. We're here for a story. And you're probably wondering why I have all these caps on my head. Well, I'm wearing all these caps on my head is because the story I'm going to read today is called Caps for Sale. So I thought it was appropriate to wear some caps on my head, and you'll see why in just a minute when I start reading. But I'm not going to wear them while I read the story, but let's count them. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to wear this one while I read the story. So I hope you enjoy it. And here we go. It's called Caps for Sale. And now you can see where I got my inspiration for wearing all the caps on my head. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had on his own checkered cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and at the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the streets and he walked down the streets calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he. And he walked out of town slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. Here he goes. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. What do you think happened? He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? What do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at him. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "'Tis, 'tis, 'tis." This made the peddler angry. So he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, "'Tis, 'tis, 'tis." See their fists? They're shaking their hands. Now he felt quite angry, and he stamped his foot and said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "'Tis, 'tis, 'tis." This time the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, "'Tis, 'tis, 'tis." This poor guy. At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap and threw it on the ground and began to walk away. Oh, he's mad. Look at, he took off his cap and he's throwing it on the ground. But then each monkey pulled off his cap and all the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First he put on his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and then the red caps on the very top. See, he's stacking them. And slowly, slowly he walked back to town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." The end. So I hope you enjoyed the story, Caps for Sale. And see you next time. Bye.